What is up, everybody? It is Game Fanatic Cook, and as you can guess from the title of this video, we're really going to be talking about the role of Tenno in the universe of Warframe. Now, before we get too far into the video, I have to shill myself real quick. We are currently, I think, like 13 subs from 200. Thank you guys so much for all the support recently. I thought there was no way we reached 200 by the end of the month when I gave that goal at the beginning of it, but we're actually blazing through it. You guys are amazing and awesome, and thank you so much for all the support recently and the comments and all of that good stuff. Anyway, let's get on to the actual topic I want to talk about now. And it's, are the Tenno really the good guys in Warframe? And the reason I really thought of this topic is because of my last video where I talked about the reality of the Grineer soldiers in Warframe, how terrible their lives are and how they get cut down and killed without a thought, even though they're each individual beings with their own thoughts, emotions, and so on. So that made me think, are the Tenno really the good guys? And the reason I started thinking that is because what do we really do? Obviously we save the galaxy or the universe or whatever the fuck the constellation is, the origin system. We save it from the Sentinels in the new war. But, I mean, even that is considered like a self-preservation action. We're not really heroes by doing that, you know? We really don't serve the benefit anyone except ourselves and maybe the Lotus. And it's arguable if the Lotus is someone that can be trusted or is a good person. So it's just really interesting to think about, because the two dominant factions in the origin system are obviously the Corpus and Grineer, with some small settlements such as the, Cetus, such as Cetus, and then I guess Fortuna, even though I believe that is also Corpus. It's just they're the lower end of the Corpus, because they're still ruled by the Corpus, I believe. I don't think they're an individual settlement. I think they are somehow part of the Corpus body, which is such a confusing government system. I don't understand how the Corpus works, but I think a lot of things fall under Corpus without actually being two entities can be Corpus but still be enemies with one another, which is kind of confusing. But because there's just like a board of directors and they all kind of hate each other, but that's irrelevant. The Grineer, of course, are just one big body. But as Tenno, basically, you just kind of monitor what the Grineer and Corpus do. Really, you just kill them if one gets too strong, or you kill them if they attack the Tenno or Warframes. But besides that, you really don't seem to have too much of a purpose, besides just killing Grineer and Corpus every once in a while, And every time you do have a greater purpose, it directly benefits, yourself, the Tenno. One of the few times I think where you actually help someone is probably during the Cetus bounties, where you help out the little village. But even then, it's not like that village is under direct threat from the Grineer. They're not raiding the village. They're not trying to raid the village. They're just kind of occupying the territory around it and kind of fucking with them a little bit. But it's not like, you're kind of going out of your way to kill the Grineer soldiers even in that situation. And, fighting for self-preservation isn't really fighting for a good cause. I want to make it very clear here. I'm not saying the Tenno are bad guys. They're very far from being the bad guys. It's just I find it, hard to say that they're the good guys when almost every action the Tenno do take is for self-preservation. It's very unlikely for a Tenno to ever do something that doesn't directly benefit them or help preserve themselves or other Tenno. So it's really hard to say we're the good guys when, I don't really feel like we are. We're just doing stuff that benefits us. And an example I want to bring up even is on Earth, how we're stopping the Grineer from poisoning Earth's forest. And when you say that out loud, stopping them from poisoning the forest is a good thing. But what the Grineer are doing is trying to make the planet more habitable for themselves, because for some reason the forest affects habitability. And Grineer are by far the biggest population on the planet Earth. So by stopping them from doing that, we're just fucking over the Grineer. We're not really helping anyone. We're just kind of fucking the Grineer by stopping them from poisoning those forests. In reality, they probably don't even look at it as poisoning the forest. They look at it as terraforming, or just making the planet more habitable. So, I mean, are we really the good guys for fucking them over from having a healthy home planet where they can live longer lives on? I don't know. I feel like we're just keeping them, like, cutting down their ability and strength, you know, so we can have a better hold on them in the Grenier situation. And with Corpus, you know, it's a little bit different, because I feel like with the Corpus, you're kind of, like, assisting Corpus, like, when you're killing the Corpus, you're actually helping the Corpus in a lot of these missions. Like, you kill one Corpus fucking leader because you're really helping another Corpus leader, and it's just kind of complicated to me with the Corpus situation, because how complicated the Corpus entity is itself. So that's kind of hard to explain, but I really don't ever feel like we're the good guy. I mean, killing Alad V, I feel like, is a good guy move, because Alad V is an absolute evil fucking menace, so props to us for that, you know? But, like, in killing, like, Counselor Vahak, obviously he's an evil piece of shit, you know? But someone like Vor, you know, Captain Vor, it's like, killing him is a self-preservation thing. I really don't feel like we're good guys for battling him. It's just he's trying to kill us, so we're going to try to kill him. Because, I mean, he does have a purpose. He is trying to make Grenier lives better. He is, overall, if you're a Grenier, seen as a very positive and good person, he's trying to make their lives better. He's trying to make his people better. So, you know, in essence, he isn't bad either. He just isn't good, kind of like the Tenno are. He's doing something to self-preserve, like the Tenno are kind of known to do. And then, of course, you can bring up what happened to the Orkin, where, you know, it's not really very clear what the Tenno did to the Orkin. Obviously, they betrayed them and killed their leaders, but it's kind of up in the air if the Tenno just were under control from the Lotus, if they were just listening to the Lotus and they weren't under mind control, or if, you know, they just killed the leaders, or if they went and just did a complete genocide of the Orkin race. Because, you know, let's say the worst case scenario for the Tenno's morality, which I don't think this is the true scenario, but worst case scenario, that the Lotus, you know, or, you know, Marta or Martha, whatever the fuck her name is, Marita, Nata, let's just say Mata, because there's three of them, but we're going with Nata. Nata frees the Tenno from their slumber, and, you know, she tells them to kill the Orkin, just tells them to, they're not under mind control. This is worst case scenario, by the way. And the Tenno just go and do a complete genocide of the Orkin race. That's not a very good guy behavior, and that is within the possibilities of the lore. It's not explicitly stated that that's not what happened, and that's definitely a legit possibility that could have happened. And, you know, if the Tenno did a complete genocide, then I definitely wouldn't say they're the good guys, because yes, a lot of the Orkin were bad and corrupted, but like killing kids of the Orkin isn't that good, you know. But that's just one interpretation. I think the correct interpretation of that scenario was that the Tenno were still asleep when Nata took control, and then her last thing she did was free them. Or, well, actually, now that I think about it, no, I think Nata woke up the Warframes. The Warframes then listened to her, killed the elite class of the Orkin, which caused the Orkin government to fall apart, which eventually led to the Grenier Uprising and Corpus Uprising, in which they killed the rest of the Orkin in the system. That is my personal belief. That's what I wanted to say. So I don't think the Tenno are bad for that, but once again, it was self-preservation, and it led to the collapse of the entire empire because of that self-preservation thing, which once again doesn't make them bad, it just doesn't make them good either. Nothing they do is like completely altruistic. I'm sure there's some small examples throughout the game of them doing just kind things to be kind, I'm not denying that, but to say overall they're good is really hard for me, especially when they're just killing Grenier left and right without thinking about, you know, them as individuals, killing Corpus left and right without thinking of them as individuals. And kind of just like everything major that we do as Tenno just kind of seems like something to improve ourselves, or improve, you know, or just self-preserve. And once again, that's not a bad thing. I think overall, if there was an alignment chart for Tenno, I would say they're neutral good, to where, you know, they don't do anything crazy to alter the course of the system, but they are generally friendly to be around and might help you out if you ask. I don't think we're bad. I don't think we're evil. I don't think we kill for no reason. I think the Tenno always have a reason when they do things. I can't really think of a scenario where we're bad guys. You know, worst case scenario, we're self-preserving and just killing a lot of people, you know, but that's worst case scenario. Best case is we are helping people. So, you know, the question is, are the Tenno the good guys? I would say no. We aren't really the good guys of the system, because as you have to think, the Corpus and Grenier make up the majority of the origin system, right? And and they both hate us. So to most people, we actually are the villains. But like from a morality standpoint, I would say we're closer to being the good guys than the bad guys. But we don't lean too heavily either way, in my personal belief. That's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of that thought process. And I just in my head, I was just talking right there. I wasn't really thinking too much about it, but I just had a huge thought process. In the origin system, we are the villains. You know, I'm not saying that I think so, but we are the villains because of Grineer and Corpus both view us as villains, and they are by far the biggest factions and biggest populations in the origin system. So you could take that route and say we are villainous because of the war atrocities we do commit against the Grineer and Corpus, which there are war atrocities we commit, such as mass murder, bomb planting. You know, we kill people with chemical fucking weapons all the time, so there are war crimes, toxin damage and shit. But that's obviously from the Grineer and Corpus standpoint, but I think from a neutral morality standpoint, from someone on the outside looking in, like we as players are, I think you'd be very hard pressed to say we're the villains or even close to being the bad guys. I think we're far closer to being the good guys, but not really there. We're more just like good neutral. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about this topic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That was just a pretty interesting thing to talk about and really debate. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a good one. Stay blessed.